It's the Don't Make It Weird podcast with your hosts, Daniel and Dinosaurus.
Hello there. Welcome to the Don't Make It Weird podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Daniel Quigley, and we are your comedy storytelling podcast for the writing community, by the writing community. And guys, we're so excited that you're here with us today. But I would be remiss if I didn't introduce you to my better half. The magnetic, majestic magpie who always travels the misty mountains, Dinosaurus!
I was a little slow on the uptake on that one.
Oh no, Dina, no! Oh god, they're gonna see your wall! Oh, guys.
I'm leaving it. I don't care anymore. I can't.
Oh no, for our audio.
It was really hard to put up, so I'm not gonna do it.
Tina just lost her entire background, and now we're just looking at a wall, and all the energy is left the show.
I know.
Yeah.
It was like a planned magic trick. Like you appeared, and your background suddenly changed.
I kind of like got stuck on it a little bit, so I just yeah, it's okay.
Listen, we're off to a great start already. Dina, are you okay?
Show must go on.
Are you gonna be all right?
I'm never okay emotionally. Thank you for asking, though. It was a good check-in.
Jesus, well, on that depressing side note, man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited that we finally get to have on the legend, Dina. Because for the folks that don't know, guys,
since November we've been trying. Sorry.
Since November, and finally we get him not at 2:00 in the morning, because our guest this week is a writer, a drinker, and a meandering thinker based out of Manchester, England. His incredible short stories have been published in every single Lost Boys anthology so far, and his Discworld inspired novel Beyond Misty Mountains is available on Amazon. Please join us in welcoming Stephen Howard.
Hello, how are we?
Doing good, man. How's it feel to be out in daylight? Like,
strange, but I actually do have the blinds down as well to stop the glare, so it's almost like the same effect but different.
Yeah, you're
basically he just wants to live in a cave.
Yeah, I mean, what we're hearing is that he's a vampire. That's what.
Total darkness.
You know?
More like a gremlin, I think. But
a
gremlin. A little writing gremlin.
So, I mean, I heard that you're a huge Manchester United fan. Like to get down to Old Trafford.
Yes.
So, how depressing has it been to be a Manchester United fan for the past 15 years?
Since about 2013, I think was the last time we won the league. Yeah, it's been progressively harder work year by year, especially with every other team doing well that is directly our rivals in City and Liverpool. Yeah. I did get to the Youth Cup final this year, though. Yeah. Oh no, no, none of that. I'm specifically avoiding the Champions League final.
You're gonna block it out. See, little known fact. Dina is a huge Man City fan. Like, you can see she's wearing the Man City colors right now.
That's the
big sports ball grudge match. Yeah.
Symbolism.
Sports ball grudge match. Go team sports.
She has no idea what sport we're talking about right now.
We're talking about American soccer.
No.
I'd call it football.
American soccer.
To confuse things more.
American soccer.
English football.
No, it's American soccer. America.
I'm pretty sure we called it soccer first in like the original rules in like 1872. So I can't remember how that ended up somehow mutating where we're like, yeah, it's football, and in America it's soccer.
Just to make things across the pond more confusing.
Yeah. No, it's just to fuck with us. So it's Stephen. I've got a joke for you, real quick, buddy.
Yep.
What have Man United and a 3-pin plug have in common?
No idea.
They're both utterly useless in Europe.
I was going to say something close to that, but yeah.
Daniel, can you be nice to our guest? Okay,
I'm so sorry.
enough.
I love him. I love you, Stephen, and I'm so excited that you're here. But
it also implies usefulness over here, and that also isn't true. So that's the logical fallacy of the joke. We're crap everywhere.
Listen, man, you come to the MLS, I think Man United would do really well. So, but listen, we have a third member of the team, and I just want you guys to know that I want to record with him on a mountain. I want to nose boop him in the sea. I want him to clip this forever until the buffaloes fall down on me. Producer Sean, everyone.
It's beautiful, man.
Romantic.
Brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to set
How's
the
everybody
emotional
doing?
tone.
Steven, welcome, buddy.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
Having a
goodness.
beer at 11 a.m., so I'm feeling good.
That's why you need in God's time zone, which is the Eastern time zone.
Sorry.
Tina gets very excited when we talk time zones.
Eastern is God's time zone, bitch.
But listen, guys.
So how many time zones are we across?
Oh, shit.
We
No,
across
3?
3, 4?
3, because
3.
me and Dean are in the same one.
Yeah.
Sean's in, the hippie communist time zone. And you're in the OG
Be
time zone.
communist.
It's not wrong.
So you're in the far left of the country.
Far
What,
left.
is BST the same as Greenwich Mean Time?
No, I think that's the shift, the 1 hour
Yeah,
shift that
that's
we
their
have.
change.
It's a 1 hour shift.
I always
Yeah.
confused me. I always thought Greenwich Mean Time was the entire thing. And I had a whole argument with Dina one time about saying that BST is not a real time zone. I was
Yeah.
wrong.
I think I did at some point. I just relied on my mum till I was like 22, and then I've just relied on my iPhone ever since. So that's why I have like
Just-
quite an
It's
incredibly poor
weird.
understanding.
It's weird that they like change what their time zone is called just for daylight savings, or essentially it's their daylight savings. Like that's super fucking weird.
Yeah, what's the point?
A little,
Because
yeah.
we say we have the same name, but we still change times. So who's right?
Well,
Is anything
we
right
change
anymore?
it over
Yeah.
here. There's PDT and PST on the West Coast.
Is there really?
Wait, is that what that's called? Because we have EDT and EST, and I just use them interchangeably.
Yes. It's
What?
Pacific Daylight Time and Pacific Standard Time.
Holy
Oh
shit!
my god.
What in tarnation?
My mind is
What?
blown right now. Sean, I don't know if I can continue. This is too much new information for me.
No, because I
Yeah,
literally
it becomes
do say
PDT
them.
during daylight savings time, and then it goes back to PST
Oh
for the rest of
god.
the year.
Oh god.
Too many acronyms.
Yeah,
Too
but
many
you know what?
acronyms.
You know what? I can't because listen, guys, we've got a ton of great stuff to talk about. Steven is the author of Beyond Misty Mountain, Condemned to Be. He's in literally anything that Lost Boys Press has put out in an anthology. And man, I'm so excited to get to chat books with you, buddy. But before we do,
Yeah, me too.
I heard we have a special little story time. Why don't you tease the audience? Give them a little tickle, a little ice cube on the gooch.
Yeah,
Good
no,
for Housewives.
thank you for that introduction. Yeah, I've got a little travel story to tell from when I woke up in a different country,
Oh, that's the
Same.
dream.
unawares.
That's the
Normal.
dream right there. In America, we just end up in Florida and then we're probably in jail afterwards. All right. So, guys, if you don't realize, there's a little bit of backstory here because we're going to have a game time here with Steven. And one of our traditions, and it started out with just me being stupid, as most of our traditions are, is that I make, anytime that he comes on the show, I make Steven make animal sounds.
Clarify
a
because
very-
he's been on the live events. He hasn't been on like the actual show.
he has been on all our live events for Lost Boys Press. We bring him on there, and he usually has some sort of animal, creature, something that I need to know what kind of noise they make. And every episode we do that. And so now that you're in the full episode, Stephen, buddy, we're gonna have an entire game segment called "Name That Animal Sound." Sean, what do you got for us, buddy?
Excellent.
All right, it's exactly what it sounds like. I have some random animal noises that none of us have listened to yet. Some of them are going to be obvious, I think. Others are going to be not so obvious. And you guys will just have
Duck,
to
duck,
guess
goose, bitch.
what animal is making the noise. So, you guys ready?
This is where we realize
Wait.
why I've made up the noises on my stories.
Yeah, Dina.
Hold on though, because I recently learned that other countries make animals make different noises. So you know how we say that a dog goes woof woof?
Yeah.
Other countries will make a different noise for a dog.
What?
Have you guys seen that? Look it up on TikTok. It's a thing where various countries will say different noises for different animals. like the words that they use.
I'm doing that right now.
Blowing my mind.
Okay.
You know, like in Arrested Development when they all have the different chicken noises? That's a thing that other countries do. Yeah.
Sean, can you just go ahead and just clip that in right there, buddy?
I'm going to clip it for you, but yeah, I'll clip it.
I haven't found the right girl. When I do, I will ask her out. Has anyone in this family ever even seen a chicken?
Thanks, man.
So do we have to specify which country this animal is from? Like, is it going to be like a French
I want
bear?
a full...
How much detail are we talking here? Like,
I need as much
know?
detail as you can give me. Yeah, we need to be overly specific.
What does
Yeah.
a bear with a French accent sound like, Steven?
oh, je m'appelle bear. Of course.
That was excellent. All right, here we go.
Oh, fuck.
Our first animal. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Is it a snake?
I like a tiger.
But from what?
It's a tabby
Bengal
cat, specifically.
tiger.
Yeah, specifically. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a South American Black Panther.
South
Cobra
American
Kai.
Black Panther. Would you like to hear it one more time?
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm changing my answer completely. This is from the pride, the heartland of our armpit of America. That's a fucking gator.
It is an alligator. Good job.
Oh, shit.
Very
Let's
nice.
go!
Dina's pissed that she didn't get that.
Wait,
one.
we don't have them. We don't have them. I'm
No
at a massive
excuses.
disadvantage already.
Yep. Yeah, no, listen. Do they not even have them, like, in zoos and stuff? Like, have you never actually, like...
We have them in zoos, I think. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, you got to piss him off to
be
make him make
fair-
that noise, though.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, it's mating season. You're only going to hear the women growl. You're not going to hear a hiss right now. I'm just saying. Just have to
That's
throw that
the
out
story
there.
of my life.
Animal facts with Dinosaurus.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Number 2.
The sound of my dead soul.
Are you mocking me?
It's got to be a chimpanzee.
I was thinking some kind of monkey.
A baboon?
A
A
macaw.
macaw.
We'll go with a
Macaw.
macaw.
Yeah.
Wait, is it macaque? Is it macaque?
Yeah, no, macaw. No,
One of
macaw
those.
is the bird.
Yes, macaque.
Yeah, because there's the book Ack Ack Macaque. It's about a monkey that's a World
It's-
War II fighter plane
Oh.
pilot.
Everyone knows that book.
That sounds
Yeah, no,
amazing.
listen, it's been on my list for a while. He smokes cigars. It's a real book. No, look it up. Ack Ack Macaque.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
All right. Yeah,
just
I'm
don't
gonna
care.
I'm gonna go with a chimpanzee. We're gonna go chimpanzee from the wilds of Nepal.
Lion King, baboon, let's go.
Okay. All right.
I think chimpanzee's right.
Is everyone locked in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually an African hyena. Dina was very close.
Oh.
When she said Lion King, I was like, she's got it. It's
Oh
hyena.
my God! Yeah,
Damn it.
that's gotta be a half point for Dina here. Let's give a half point for
Shit.
that. Yeah, that's solid.
And for those of you wondering, Ack Ack Magak is a thing.
I told you.
It's a book by Gareth L. Powell,
Uh huh.
and I'm intrigued. It's going in the TBR. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. You're welcome. Well, you know, next quarantine book club, buddy.
All right. Next.
Hey, that's me.
That is Dinosaurus, everybody.
That seems like the wild Dinosaurus, deep from the heart of the Bay of Florida.
The Bay.
The Bay.
The Bay of Florida.
The Bay of Florida.
All right.
I have no idea what this one is.
Black bear. Gotta be.
But it's
Grizzly bear. False. Grizzly bear.
yes, yes.
It might be.
Well, there's two schools of thoughts on this, and
You guys are being too specific. It just says bear. I don't know what type of bear it is. I don't know if it's French or if it's even European to begin with.
This is the same guy that threw out macaque or whatever, so... Monkey, macaque. What?
I think the more specific, the better. Like, it sounds smarter regardless of whether it's right or wrong.
So
We'll take it.
What does a Scottish bear sound like?
I don't think we have them anymore. I'm sure they're talking about like rewilding. Did they rewild Scotland with bears? This is a whole different podcast.
We need to find this out.
Just turning into the Amber episode.
Whale penis.
Whale penis. Okay.
Sorry, shout out Amber.
There are no wild bears in Scotland, according to Google.
Oh.
I think I'm sure that a deer is like the largest wild animal in the UK currently, but I'm sure they're talking. Yeah.
Producer
That's
Sean,
some bullshit.
to the Don't
It
Make a
was,
Weird
but-
Logic Machine. Tell us what the largest bear in the UK, the largest animal in the UK is.
Okay.
Motherfucker, we got giant moose. What do you mean that's the you got a fucking deer?
Yeah.
The largest
yeah.
wild animal in the UK is the red deer.
So, what the fuck?
Boom. This is why I don't live in fear when I go for a walk. Like,
I literally have dinosaurs.
What's gonna harm you? We have dogs bigger than your
Exactly.
deer.
That's why everyone here is terrified of Australia, because we're just used to all these tiny little creatures wandering around. Domestic cats, they are probably the most vicious thing.
He's living in a
In the
Disney
vicinity.
film over here.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
But I mean,
Okay.
sorry, go on.
Here we go.
That's a bat.
I was going to say
I've
bat.
been
Nice
attacked by a
work,
bat. That's a
Dina.
bat.
That's a vampire
Nice
bat.
work.
That was traumatic.
Nina don't mess with
Bruce
bats.
Wayne. For
That brought
Bruce
back some
Wayne.
bad memories.
It did.
Yeah.
I got trapped on a bus once with a bat.
Save it
Oh,
for
God.
story time. What the fuck was that?
Let's hear that again.
Oh, that's gotta be a warthog, man.
Baboon.
Or me in bed.
That's my stomach.
Sorry, I
Actually might be a
haven't eaten
hog.
yet, you guys. That wasn't a sound effect. One more time.
A
Yeah,
gorilla.
that's gotta be me in bed.
I'm
It's a gorilla.
sticking with that
Good
right
job,
now.
Steven.
He's on the scoreboard.
He's on it,
Literally on
baby.
the scoreboard. Doesn't help that he has fucking
We're on the
deer and that's
board.
it. What noise
I'm
does it take?
shocked and disappointed that you didn't get Gator. Dina. I'm
I
honestly.
Yeah,
am
that's
too.
still.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
listening. It
taken
took me a
aback.
second. It took me a second listen.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do one or two. Let's do two more.
All right, dude. All right.
I've heard that.
Hippopotamus.
It's got to be a hippo. And those things are fucking dangerous, bro. Those things are
Yeah,
scary
yeah.
and dangerous.
They're like, yeah. Sure, they're responsible for like the highest amount of deaths.
yeah, I think I've heard that too.
They're
Well,
scary as hell.
Africa.
Yeah. And they're the
And they're really
goofiest.
fucking fast. They're the fastest swimmers. They're crazy fast.
I mean, and it's like, dude, like they're the doofiest looking animal. Like someone
Yeah.
like had an idea and they're like, listen, we're gonna make an unstoppable killing machine that looks like the dumbest animal in the world.
Yeah, it's like someone doing like drunk kung fu. Right? they look all harmless, but then boom, broken
Yeah.
nose.
Hit you with a broken nose.
That all having been said, it's not a hippo, you guys. One more listen.
Some kind of warthog.
Is that a lion?
Giant anteater.
Giant anteater is incorrect. It's a
Oh.
rhino.
God
fucking
damn
got me.
it.
You got me, you son of a bitch.
I was on the verge of cheering. We were ready to cheer.
I was about to just freaking rip my shirt off and be done today.
All right.
Ryan Giggs style.
Nice. One more.
All right,
Look at it.
buffalo.
God damn
is
it.
buffalo.
Yes,
All
sir.
Daniel, do you have any animal sound things? Or are you saving that for later?
No, I've got a couple that we'll be sprinkling in throughout the episode. So, Steven, without getting too far into this, you had to know that this was coming, but war elephants play a pivotal role in the Beyond Misty Mountain.
Yes.
And could you make a war elephant sound for me?
That
Great
was me.
job.
That was me.
Damn,
That was me.
so
Yeah.
good.
Very
Oof.
good.
That was my war elephant ventriloquist doll, in fact.
Well done,
Do I get a
Sean.
pass on that one, or do I actually have to still
Oh, no,
go?
you definitely still have to still go. Yeah. No, we're not giving passes here, buddy.
Woo!
Oh, yeah, we got the hand motion in it
Incredible.
and everything. Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
No, that's good stuff. Thank you, sir.
He mimed the trunk and everything. Excellent.
Yeah, it needed more reverberation, really, but on the fly, not
Listen,
bad.
Sean can fix that in post for you. Like, he'll add a little...
Yeah. Merge those two. Merge the two. We're great.
Perfect. All right, so, buddy, I think we've teased the audience long enough. Because, you see, we're all about storytelling here, and as such, we try to share a fun story each week. So without further ado...
It's story time with Steven.
Okay. So this was about 11 years ago, and I was interrailing with a group of friends across Europe, so getting the trains from country to country. And we were in Prague, sort of famously quite cheap beer. So
Good to know.
the hostel we were staying in, called the Check Inn, love the pun,
Oh,
shit,
I love it.
it was, they had a happy hour on. So that happy hour was 2 hours long, as you do. I also discovered later on that I was drinking the only beer not on the happy hour prices, so I was actually paying for about the only full price beer in the place at the time.
Oh, no.
But never mind.
Can you give us
it was still,
like a rough price comparison? Like, how cheap is Prague beer?
at the time, the happy hour prices were about 70p our money, so probably, I don't know, 50, 60 cents, something like that at the time. And the one I was getting was probably about the equivalent of $1, $1.10, $1.20, something like
Sean, don't make it weird going to Prague, bud. We need to do this.
that. Yeah.
Sorry, continue. I apologize.
So yeah, no, it's all right. And so I was sat in the bar, and we'd met a Canadian lad who was when he was checking in, and he wandered in. So we sat chatting away to him. We're drinking. My friends have gone to bed. We're staying up. We got absinthe, and it arrived on one of those kind of like stacked things with like ice as well, and very, very elaborate. So we were getting well into it. And then it must have been near closed. I think it was just us two and like a very beleaguered waitress still there, barmaid, like kind of hoping we go to bed. But this American fella walked in, and he's like, there's a pub next door that they sell weed behind the bar. They sell marijuana. And so the Canadian lad that I'm with starts just saying like, I've got papers, and I don't really know what that means at the time. So I just kind of followed him anyway. We go next door to this bar. We sort of shuffle up looking as shifty as anything. It's like we've heard this. And this bartender's just like, yeah, sure, and just like whacks some stuff out on the bar. We purchase some marijuana. We head back to the hostel because the lad I was with, he said he had like one of the fancy rooms with a balcony.
Yeah.
So we go up to his balcony. He goes about setting everything up. We start to have a smoke, and I'm pretty wasted at this point. And like literally after about one puff, I feel the entire world kind of closing in on me. And that's pretty much the last thing I remember. And the next thing that I remember is kind of waking up and like just sort of shuffling a little bit. And I look out this window, and the Alps are just there. There's just snow-capped mountains. So I'm on a train. We're already out of the Czech Republic. We're in Austria. And what essentially had happened was he went and got my mates. They took me back to bed. I tried to sleep it off. That did not work. So I'm non-compass mentis this entire time. And they kind of like weekend at Bernie's me all the way across Prague. Got me on a train. And I just went back to sleep on the train. So as well as waking up to the lovely, beautiful Alps, which I did not quite appreciate, 'cause my face was like borderline like yellow and shiny. I was a mess.
Damn it.
Damn it.
So yeah.
Oh, God. We said, yeah. Oh, my God. I mean, that has to be the coolest thing ever, though, to wake up to the Alps. Like, And that's not a bad way to weekends at Bernie's.
You know what it reminded me of?
People pay a lot of money.
When they got you on the train and you just went to sleep, I was just like, oh, like a baby when you put them in the car.
Yeah, pretty much. I imagine the gentle rocking of the train was pretty nice. Yeah.
So
we were in like, I was going to say we were in Vienna for like a day and a half, which I'd completely ruined by getting absolutely smashed the night before. So that wasn't quite as fun, but the story's probably worth it.
Can you guys go with me on something random here? Because I saw Dina's face as we're telling the story. Yeah, so we're gonna do this, guys. This is happening. Sean, I need some music for "Don't Make It Weird" theater.
What?
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah. So Dina, here's the scene, buddy. You are in Prague, and you need to go to a bar and buy some marijuanas. Steven will be your bartender.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bud tender, yeah.
Can I get a smoke? I don't know. What the fuck?
I'm not even gonna say hi to the.
Oh, hi. No, I don't usually say hi to bartenders in bars because like it's really crowded and I just want to get in and get out because I'm really scared that I'm gonna say something wrong.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know any Czech, so.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, back in scene. Sorry.
Can I get a smoke?
What kind of smoke?
The green kind.
It's the only kind we do.
I don't know. Are there different kinds of weed? Really?
I think so. Yeah. You go to Amsterdam. There's a whole array.
Like, what kind? And you don't even know.
Skunk. That's a kind. Afghan Kush. I remember that one.
Can I get some skunk?
You can have some skunk.
Okay, hold on.
We are not strong improv people.
No, I can't do improv.
So guys, it's time to move forward. It's time for Steven. Do you have a tissue on hand, a neckerchief, perhaps?
No.
Do you have something to wipe up the copious amount of tears that are sure to fall from your face soon enough?
Got it.
Perfect. Right. Yes, excellent. Because we're about to peel back the layers of the potato. We're about to have hard-hitting, deeply emotional questions with Dina Soros. Dina.
Okay. Steven. Why can't you spell letters? Think about it.
Why can't you
think about it. They make a whole sound. Why can't I spell them? Like if you were to spell A, how would you spell it? You know what I mean? Like W, why can't you spell a W? Do you guys know what I mean?
You can spell H. AITCH. H.
Oh.
So there's at least one letter that you can spell. So what you have to think about it in a hopeful way. There's at least one that you can do this with.
So there's hope, Dina.
Technically, we could do T,
or Z,
too. T.
Or Z. Z and Z. T, maybe, yeah.
Now, the question is, can you spell it without using the letter to spell it?
Oh.
AIT. What? No.
Yes, you can. You can spell the letter U, YOO.
Okay, there you go.
All right, I'll give it to him. All right, there we go. Okay.
There we go. Good job.
I heard. Do you fold your socks?
No.
So, do you really just throw them in a drawer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the socks are like folded into each other and just chucked in the drawer. Yeah.
Like the sock testicles?
Boxes are quite neat.
Yeah, it's
pretty much. Yeah.
Sock testicles.
Yeah.
These people.
Pretty much, yeah.
I swear. All right. What is your biggest pet peeve, literary and personal?
Literary. I think I kind of hate when, and sometimes it's necessary, so it's very much a very personal pet peeve, when there's a lot of space on the page. So when you've got whole pages of dialogue and you've got a lot of white space, I don't know, for some reason it's something that I'm always like slightly conscious of when I write. So I'll have a short burst of dialogue, then there might be another line or two or something, sort of breaking it up.
Ebb and flow, yeah.
So I think that would be a pet peeve.
That's an interesting one. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not really a technical thing as far as I'm aware. It's literally just a little peeve of mine.
Makes sense. And then personal?
That's an interesting, yeah.
And a general pet peeve, I actually have no idea. I'm quite like super laid back about a lot of stuff. So most things that other people like find annoying, I'm just like, yeah, crack on, mate.
How about this?
So
We'll narrow this down for you. What's your like soccer fan pet peeve? Because like the fan bases in Europe are known to be.
Yeah. I think that kind of like collective mindset that happens where people end up doing things that they just would not do normally. Like I remember speaking to someone once who, as far as I used to work with, was like just a really nice guy, and he was like, yeah, one time I just like threw a pound coin onto the pitch, and I was like, what? Like, you know, someone you'd really least expect this of, you know, it's that kind of like gang mentality type thing that kicks in, and everyone like loses their minds and starts doing things that are like way out of character. And I always stuck with me as like this. It's probably more than a pet peeve, because that's obviously like
That's a
slightly
huge thing.
insane
Yeah,
behavior. Yeah, but yeah, something like that kind of gang mentality that kicks in with football, definitely. Yeah, and you kind of lose yourself in that insanity.
Oh, crushing these answers.
Alrighty then. All right, let's make this an international question. What color do you think maths should be?
Do I think
Maths?
as in mathematics?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mathematics,
Oh,
yes, is what she's asking
green.
about.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the old school textbook was always green for math, so I'm gonna go with green. Yeah,
See, that's a thing.
just that just comes to mind.
It's
yeah.
funny the associations that people make with that question. Like how it's always like either their math workbook or their binder or whatever that reminds them of that color.
So I suppose if I had a color for pain, that would also be the same as the color for math, because I hate
So
it.
you think
Same,
pain
man.
is green?
Yeah, my book was always green. I got a lot of headaches when math class started coming
It's
around.
like that vomit green though, not like a nice forest green.
Yeah, it's kind of like dark and murky.
Is it like
Yeah.
the pickle?
Yeah,
A little bit like
a little bit darker though.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, probably similarish. Yeah.
Okay,
it's kind of
that's
like your
fair.
hazel eyes, Dina.
I don't have fucking hazel eyes, bitch.
Great Kelly Clarkson song though. Behind those hazel
Very
eyes.
true. All right. If you were a kind of soup,
Ooh.
what kind of soup would you be?
Ooh.
Oh, mulligatawny, which I had for the first time the other day. Very nice.
Gesundheit.
Slightly spicy.
The fuck is
What? Yeah.
What is it?
I've no idea. It was on a Heinz tin. So this isn't the cultured answer you may have been
Oh.
expecting when I said that.
No.
But it was
We're pretty uncultured.
that was very, very nice. So I'm going to go with that. It's in recent
Like
memory.
pasta or
A little bit of
potato?
spice, a little bit of kick. It was kind of
What's in it?
herby. Oh, in fact, I can go and grab a tin. I think I have a
Go
tin
grab
of
a
it in
tin.
the.
We need
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Go
we
grab
need
a
to
tin.
know.
grab
Yeah,
a tin.
yeah, we
Okay.
need
Please
to,
do.
we need to know.
Blue again.
Hello there.
So it's this one. So there's a very literary little paragraph here, actually.
Please do.
Perfect. Please.
Revealing big, beefy depth. Wait, is this is a
That's what
cringy
she said.
copulation?
That's hot. Yeah.
Yeah. Drink.
Go on, Steven.
Yeah. Go on.
Revealing big, beefy depth, peppered with fragrant curry spices and rice. This is one recipe that's simply too good to rush. Word for word. That's on the tin.
That's incredible.
Big Beefy
Yep.
Depp was my nickname in high school, by the way. Fun fact.
All right. Last question. What is the superior form of pickle?
Oh, I think I've done this one.
No.
Not pickle.
Not pickle, sir. So
Big Mac gherkins.
Big
Mac gherkins.
gherkins. It's not jerkins, Dina. It's
She's
not
so
jerkins.
mad that he said gherkin and not jerkin.
Because I heard
So,
somebody
wait.
else say jerkin too.
Do you mean like the sliced pickle chips that are on a Big Mac, or do you mean like the pickled relish that's in the Mac sauce?
The sliced pickles themselves.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, all right, for the folks at home that are wondering why we haven't asked him the famous potato question, that's because
Since
we've asked
Daniel
him that
didn't know the answer a minute ago, so he's got to explain it.
Exactly. Let me mansplain this for you, Dina. As a man. So he's been on a couple of our live shows, and we've asked him the superior form of potato question, not once, but twice. And so, you know, for the folks at home, can you just give us a quick recap on what that is, Stephen?
Hold on, let me guess. Let me guess. Let me see if I can remember. Was it a jacket potato?
It was a jacket potato.
Yes.
Ah, there it is. Sean never forgets
get a baking potato in the oven. Then once it's cooked, slice it up, cover it in beans, cheese, butter.
Beautiful.
It's a whole mess.
For the Americans, that's a baked potato. A baked potato.
But the beans is different.
But with beans, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right.
By
So
the way,
I got to ask.
I've been looking, and my store has been out of the Heinz potatoes, or not potatoes, Heinz beans. But I've been trying
The
to get
Heinz
them so I can
beans
put them on a potato.
Here are different. Like the can looks similar, but it's a little bit different. So I'm not sure if it's the same beans.
Well, it's like Z versus S and something, and then they also, but like.
Oh yeah,
one
that's
says-
right. The Z.
They're both tomato based, though. So.
Yeah, I think I was a tomato.
So, all right. So, Stephen, I'm going to ask one more food question before we get into the book stuff. If, the Don't Make a Weird crew was flew out to England to hang out with you, and you said
Daniel's paying.
Yeah, absolutely, because big time published author.
Big time.
Big time. Where would be the one place that you would take us to give us like say, hey, listen, I want to impress you with the local cuisine. Like what are we ordering?
I would take you to a fish and chip shop. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one in Urmston where I'm from where they've actually got a little cafe area in the back as well. So they've got it looks almost like a seafront restaurant. Except it's not on the seafront. But yeah, I'd get you some traditional British fish and chips. Yeah, absolutely.
I've actually always wanted traditional.
So before we get into the literary questions, because this is going to come back up again, Stephen, the real heroes of your story, some people would say, are the magpies. What does a magpie sound like?
Oh, probably should know this one.
Sorry, I don't have a sound effect prepared for you, buddy.
What? Got it.
Hey!
It's a magpie.
Perfect. So again,
oh my god,
that's one I should actually just know.
Yeah, you should just know it. So all right, so guys, we're gonna be talking about his book Beyond Misty Mountain. In addition to that, he's got some other books. He's got everything from Lost Boys Press. We're talking Chimera, Not Meant for Each Other, Heroes, and he will be out in the Great Wars anthology that's gonna be coming out this year, and he's got his own collection of short stories, Condemned to Be. So guys, there's a whole catalog of Stephen Howard that you guys can get in on. And so I gotta say, I love this book because it was, I would say this is our first, I don't want to call it a comedy book because that's selling it short, but you've definitely got a style here that's supposed to be a little bit more whimsical and fun. It's got that Terry Pratchett, Douglas Adams, just kind of very just clever humor with it. So when you set out to write this book, what was your intention?
Almost exactly that, to be honest. I've been a big Terry Pratchett fan since I read some of his younger reader ones when I was sort of early teens, and just before that, like the Bromeliad trilogy, and then moved into Discworld, and I'd read a good number of those. By the time I came to write Beyond Misty Mountain, that was one of the reasons was my enjoyment of those books specifically that made me just sort of one day go, well, why didn't I just write my own? So that's what I did. I think I was about 20 when I started writing it, and I just tried to take in probably more the early Pratchett stuff. Like there's not much in the way of kind of a satire or social commentary. It was very much a straight up fun fantasy, taking kind of familiar things, throwing them in there, doing something a little different with each of them, and just kind of throw a few people in the mix who are kind of going to travel through this strange mixed up world that is Torvakane in Beyond Misty Mountain. So yeah, that was pretty much the aim, which is why I'm still happy with it to this day, is that I achieved everything that I kind of wanted to achieve with that book.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
So what's it like to be such a rebel and have no chapters?
Well, that was another Pratchett thing, really. So I
I've
kind of stolen from him. It's I think the general idea was that chapters break up the flow. So with this story, especially being like quite a fast-paced travel across a treacherous world type story. I figured that would also work for that, in that there's nothing breaking it up. You kind of transition from one scene to the next, and it all sort of rolls along at that kind of hectic, fast pace that I hope came through in the sort of the tone, I guess.
And that's something that I do love about it, because you described Torvakane as kind of a bad dog that doesn't always listen to its god, Sun.
Yes.
The god's name is Sun, and so we get a kind of a fun cast of characters. You have Kane and oh my god, why am I blanking on it? Kane, Drago, and please help me out here, Steven.
No, don't help him.
Corin.
Don't help him. No. Next time, let him hang awkwardly.
Oh god, it was
Yeah,
so
we
awkward.
sit in awkward silence when
I'm
he
getting Kane, Corin,
Would have had
and
to
Drago.
edit down the gap.
Thank you for that. As they kind of are having kind of get thrown into an adventure with dragon lords and war and some kind of inept rulers, and I mean it's just a fun story. But one of the things I loved about it is you got very creative, sometimes on the nose and sometimes more subtle with the names of not only the characters but the cities and some of the stuff. So talk to me about your process with how names, you came up with the names and how they affected your story.
A bit of a mixed bag with how they all came about. Some like all the cities were the initial premise that I sort of moved away from a little bit was they'd all be just based on the 7 deadly sins. So like Broths lust, for example, Slowtopia, which I don't think you visit in that book, is sloth. Aphia hubris, pride, Rafendi. Verten, for example, was greed. So vert is French for green. It's sort of portmanteaued with envy. So Verten. So they all, and all the citizens were sort of meant to have a kind of vibe that tallied with the appropriate deadly sin. So everyone in Rafendi is angry, for example, which does come into it. The king of Aphia hubris is a prideful man, and so forth. So that in that side of things, that was the kind of the premise and the start point. Then with some of the other characters, there was a kind of mix of kind of traditional fantasy names like Drago, sort of a heroic name, but then he's kind of not heroic, but kind of that kind of grows into it. Corin and Sun, for example, sort of lifted from Dragon Ball Z. I love Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, so they sort of just transitioned over. So I wanted to use those. Kane was more of like from Michael Caine, the Italian Job. They're sort of pulling one last job, Kane and Corin. So that's sort of how that came in. So I think most of them had some little thought behind them, but they were quite sporadic, kind of pulled from things I like and a little bit from that initial basic premise of the 7 deadly sins.
And before, just one quick follow-up. Are we ever going to get a story with Bumaclaw and his naming regiment? Because I definitely need to know more about this heroic...
Yeah, it was so much fun as a reference point. Like I kind of part of the world building was just to have those little asides. Like you have Geronimo, but then there's a silly backstory.
Yes.
Bumbaclaw, the explorer with his horse, and so forth. So not very imaginative, but yeah, it was. I suppose it was. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was kind of like it's like the antithesis of what you'd expect from a fantasy novel. Sometimes you get very complicated naming procedures. So to have a character who just says what he sees, like he's on catchphrase or something, was just like the antithesis of the genre expectations almost.
So you've got like really well-rounded characters with like a vast array. And you made sure that like every single one of them was distinct, including speech patterns and accents and everything like that. Did you have to go back through to ensure that everything was consistent? Did that just come naturally?
A little bit of both again. I think especially with like a character like Kane, where he's written with a kind of accent that he was definitely took quite a few read-throughs to just ensure like a consistency with certain types of words, like sort of the T apostrophe, taint, that kind of thing. So that certainly that was certainly took a few editing sessions, but I think a lot of them, because they were quite distinct, like there's not like a great deal of change in most of the characters, maybe other than Drago and Amelia, but because they were all so distinctive, it was, I think, a little bit easier to write them. You kind of put yourself in their headspace, and it came a little bit more naturally for quite a few of them. So I think having that, not quite caricatures, but distinctive, separate personalities does make it a lot easier to write those speech patterns.
And so, something that I definitely saw in your story is that, when we kind of go back, we've got the fantasy setting. You've kind of brought in a lot of different things from fairy tales and different kind of, like you said, Dragon Ball Z, little genre stuff. But when I was talking about this, offline with Dina, I said, the best part about this is that there's just some great little one-liners that aren't necessarily like hugely plot relevant, but like, you just sit there and you kind of like chuckle. Like one of my favorites was his issues were seated so deep they couldn't see the stage. Things like that. So, did they just kind of come to you as you were writing? Or was it like, you kind of had a thought, a moment, you're like, I need to figure out how to put this into the story?
Again, a little bit of both. I think some came naturally, but when I was actually writing the novel, I was still working in a supermarket, Sainsbury's over here, but I would always get myself to just have to look out the self-checkout machines, which basically required standing there. So I'd print out receipt paper, and I was just like doodling and scribbling little lines, little character things, and that sort of stuff. So some of those lines will have come from just standing around, kind of daydreaming, essentially, and others sort of came as I wrote. But I'm also like a big Blackadder fan, the sitcom. So there was definitely a little bit of that kind of, the whole story stops so the character can say a long, convoluted, silly almost joke that's kind of half clever, half ridiculous. So there was also a bit of that. So it's probably not the most traditional literary of techniques, but it was something I kind of transitioned in, and I was like, I'm going for a very distinctive effect in this. It's very much, you're spending 200 plus pages kind of with me at the same time. Yeah. So there's a lot of that sort of style of humor in the kind of the narrative voice.
So kind of what Danielle touched on earlier about like other stories. You've got these characters that like allude to so much past together. Like they've got hand signals and, physical signals and stuff to communicate with each other because they have so much backstory and history with each other. Are you going to give us more books that will like either go back in time or forward or anything like that?
That was definitely sort of part of the plan as I wrote it, and I sort of transitioned away a little bit. I've got about 30,000 words of a direct sequel that was going to be based around like Heracles' 12 labors, and they would have to essentially a similar cast and would be going around tackling all these in silly ways, sort of thing. Okay, and I include and there's a couple of short stories set in the same world included in the back of Beyond Misty Mountain now. So I think I would definitely anticipate writing some short stories, definitely that tie in and might give a little bit more detail, either moving forward or back in time as well. That would be something I think I would really enjoy. I think I've sort of transitioned towards targeting things like submission calls and that. So I've been looking at very specific areas to write short stories for. So that's kind of moved me away a little bit from some of the things that I guess kind of write for pleasure, right? I mean, obviously I enjoy writing the other stories, but yeah, those specific, like for me, things related to this world that I still love. Like, so I think at some point, definitely, just not sure when.
So let's give the audience what they want, man. Give us a little snippet from Beyond Misty Mountain.
Okay. Prepare my voice. The sun had now set, and the ring light doused the courtyard in silver shadow. 2 guards were shifting awkwardly around the edge of the courtyard, wearing heavy-looking armor and helms several sizes too big. One carried a frayed Hessian sack over his shoulder that seemed to be moving and squeaking. In the middle of the courtyard was a pen, fencing in the animals. Around 3 sides of the pen, men and women in indulgent Baroque armour snoozed. Rothsalust's steward, Insatiate Abel, ordered the fancy armour for those with the honour of maintaining his prized elephants. The fortunate men and women assigned to this task felt lucky. Nice armour, easy task, the job is a good one, they often said. That was about to change. The 2 shuffling figures in the older battle armour reached the northern wall and proceeded to remove the helmets and Zalustian battle armour. No wonder we comfortably dealt with those guards earlier. I can hardly move in this stuff, said one, uncomfortable and sweaty. Well, it got us round to back, didn't it? Exclaimed the other. There were no guards on this side of the pen, as it was furthest from the entrance. Most of the sentries who remained awake were watching the elephants with hazy disinterest. This disinterest would be their downfall, as 2 old men stormed the elephant pen. With an unexpected fleetness of foot and briskness of movement, one gave the other, who was still holding the writhing sack, a leg up which he used to propel his leaping self over the fence. Touching down, he pulled the sack open and threw it towards the elephants. The ensuing uproar of trumpeting and squeals and whole-scale stampeding was a sight to behold under the ring light. 50 white elephants crashed through the feeble southern wall, terrified of the irritated black sewer rats zipping about in all directions. Guards dived to and fro, attempting to avoid heavy white legs, only to be confronted with nasty black rats nipping them and crawling up their trouser legs. The combination of nipping and crawling adventurously up trouser legs was enough to make any grown man queasy. 2 older men threw themselves at a couple of the still saddled battle elephants at the rear of the swiftly escaping herd. Leaving a trail of stone slabs, mortar, and guards behind them, the white elephants began their assault on the unprepared and unaware city.
Sean, is it in our budget to get our own battle elephants to maybe travel to cons and such?
I still want to see if I can adopt my dad's old elephant.
I mean,
Those
I
bitches never
could
emailed me back.
I could fake it, you know. You could just do a Wizard of Oz thing and just have the sound and be like, "Oh, it's back there. Don't worry, it's here though."
Don't come for that movie. I love that movie.
We're not coming for that movie. No one's coming for Wizard of Oz here, all right? All right, so Steve, we're going to ask 2 more literary questions, and we'll get into some of our fun off-the-wall questions. And then, get a little steamy and sexy here. So, Gina.
All right, so tell us a little bit more about the real heroes of the story, the magpies.
I'm not even sure how I ended up starting with that. I think I just essentially wanted something innocuous but irritating. So it probably would have originally been pigeons, and it just kind of transitioned into something a little more distinctive. So, and then I like sort of throughout the idea of imbuing things with kind of characteristics or character or personality totally different from what you'd expect. So to have a group of conniving, highly intelligent magpies was just kind of on brand for the whole thing. So that's sort of how it built up, and then as I kind of got along writing, they just became more and more integral.
I love them, man. Because it started out as little throwaway jokes, and then they just kept on being more and more effective. And I'm not going to give any spoilers. Yeah. You guys need to check out Beyond Misty Mountain. But listen, the magpies are the heroes we deserve in this world. So, Yeah,
the pincer movement was one of my favorite parts, if I recall. Right? Yeah.
God, that was a good part. Sorry. So one of the things that, people that have read your stories before, whether it's from Lost Boys Press, Beyond Misty Mountain, your other anthology, Condemned to Be, is that you like to kind of play around with narrative style. You kind of go for atypical narration form. Like I said, this one, we kind of had the God view and stuff like that. With your Robin the Hood, you had, almost like you were a movie director giving us that. So kind of talk to us through, your different, or I guess your fascination with different narrative styles.
I just kind of think that as a writer, I should always be trying to do something different and kind of push myself. And I did my degree in English literature and creative writing. So I very much enjoy being kind of like a student of literature at the same time. So every time I'm reading something different, it sort of occurs to me, right, I want to do something like that. And then that kind of becomes an idea that I might use for a short story. And I make a lot of notes in my phone. So there's all sorts of, like this theme, let's do this, and so forth. So I don't like to sit still, really. I like to experiment. But I also think that's kind of part of finding your own voice, is that you're better off playing in all these different sandboxes until you either hit upon something that you do masterfully and you stick with it, or you just keep cracking away at different things. And I always enjoy the challenge of trying something a little bit different. So that's probably the main reason that I try and do that, explore different styles, and especially like Robin Hood, for example, that one was a lot of fun to write because it was kind of like breaking the rules. Like you're not really supposed to do this, and I was like, I'm breaking the fourth wall.
Fucking great.
It's a TV phrase, but I'm going to do it for, and I'm sure someone's done it before, kind of thing. But it was those are the kind of things I really enjoy. I enjoy writing and prose, so doing different things with the writing itself is always interesting to me.
Love it, man. So, all right, so now it's time to get some off-the-wall questions. This is the segment that Dina is always prepared for, always ready for. Dina.
So the Three Stooges replace your three main adventurers, I guess, is what I'm going to call them. How do you think that works out in your world?
Three Stooges.
They don't make it past 20 pages, do they? They get trampled by elephants whilst they're trying to take them. No doubt. If they get any further, I kind of feel like the Three Stooges at every point that the three main characters get past, they would not. So it'd just have to be a series of shorts where they fail to achieve each separate scene goal.
I love that. I like it. It's like these are the failures, and so Sun just has to go back and be like, all right, we need someone else to do this, guys.
Yeah. Reset the world. Every short story reset.
Yeah. I kind of love that. Every short story ends in failure.
Yeah.
All right, so you had a quote here in the book, my man, and you said that magic can tend to rip a hole in reality, releasing tentacled beasts. Can we assume that fuck squids exist in your universe?
I knew he was going to do that when I read that too.
The big reveal is that it's all a shared universe. That's
you found the Easter egg.
I'm just gonna tweet Chad to check that this is actually okay to say, and then I mean why not?
You can get the fuck squid shirt in the Don't Make It Weird store.
Listen, I need to know how Drago handles his first encounter with the fuck squid.
It's Drago. It's not Drago.
Tomato potato.
No. It's like Draco Malfoy, basically. Think of it like that.
It's also Graham. So.
Yeah.
No, right. Daniel, you still said it wrong.
Or Graham. You'd say Graham, right?
Graham. This is America. Listen, I'm drinking America drinks right now. So out here, we respect our flag, sir.
Oh my God, no.
Oh God.
I didn't realize Graham made the flag.
I'm sorry, Graham.
Isn't it Betsy or Betty? I want to say Betsy or Betty.
Yeah, there
Betsy,
you go.
Yeah, Betsy Ross.
Betsy Ross, yeah.
Louisa May Alcott. What?
Hey. All right, so, buddy, it's time. It's time for you to read something beautiful, because every week we celebrate some of the worst erotic literature in history, usually selected by the Literary Review, a British literary magazine, in a segment that we call Cringy Copulation. These are real excerpts from real books intended to be taken seriously. This week's excerpt will be read by Steven, and is from Choke by Chuck Palahniuk, the guy who did Fight Club, guys. I can't pronounce that name. Palahniuk. Is that really?
I don't know.
Palahniuk, that's the one. God damn it. Good job, Steven.
Like
He's an iconic writer. He's the creator of Fight Club and this book, Choke, which are both famous movies. And, I'm ready for your first one. Steven, check your DMs.
Okay. I will say that I tried practicing some of these with my fiance the other day, and I didn't make it through a single one. So, and I try and come prepared to these things, but
hey, listen, we don't make it through either, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm so
Okay,
sorry
okay.
for your fiance, buddy.
Yeah.
She's
This isn't what she's
9
going
months
That was a whole
pregnant
half
and
hour.
She's just done.
Yeah. Okay. Tanya yanks again, and my dog triggers. The white soldier's gobbling against the bedroom wallpaper beside her face. She yanks again, and my dog's coughing dry and still coughing.
What?
Listen.
One
Was
of the
that
weirder
a
ones.
euphemism?
No. Well, yes, but
Okay.
Sorry, go on.
Do you want to add context to this? Because I think
Yeah. So
I
the
don't
context
understand.
is that Tanya is pulling anal beads out of this main character's rectum, and he is ejaculating against the bedroom wall. The dog is his.
the white soldiers.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
The
no.
white
I actually
pea.
thought she was wanking a dog off.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
actually
know
how
which
I read
one's
this.
better. I don't know which one's
I
better.
don't know. One's
It's a
certainly
very
more
confusing
illegal.
symbolism. Yeah. Well, very Van Wilder. Very Van Wilder. Chuck's just stealing from Van Wilder.
Oh no. Dina, how do you feel about this?
I'm a little nauseous. Keep going. That's what she said.
She said, "Keep going."
Keep going. That's what she said. Yep.
Just
Oh God. So this second one is
Not over yet, baby.
it's a second time entrant to our famous cringy compilation. This is from Nicholson Baker again, and this is
this
his
motherfucker.
novel. And this is from the novel House of Holes. Again, Nicholson has received a National
Like a
Book
glory
Critics
hole.
Circle Award. Oh no. The Calm Herman Hess Prize for German translation, and he's a best friend of another fan favorite, John Updike. So, Steven, check those DMs, buddy.
If I ever meet these men,
Yep, got it. So this is from House of Glory Holes.
Yeah.
House of Glory Holes, yes, that is it.
House of Glory Holes.
you know that's what he meant.
Okay. Okay. She was amazed. It was like his penis had a telescoping action. The more she taunted and reviled it, the more it kept adding intermediate sections. It was like a subway improvement project. I love the engineering.
So he's uncircumcised, I take it. Get it?
Oh!
He's got segments.
Yeah, but
No,
it
mine was
only
funnier.
gets bigger. But it's like Pinocchio, except that it's like you have to taunt it
Every
and
time he lies.
it gets a little bigger. It segments out, man.
It's kind of like one of those toy lightsabers, you know, where they like fold in and they fold out.
Telescoping action, baby.
Telescope in action.
Yeah.
Oh God. So yeah, I
Do you ever just want to go back to the cult?
Do you want to join a cult, Steven? Be safer for your future child to not have to.
The world's a lot safer.
Not for me. Yeah.
I love that it's like taunting and reviling it is what made him harder. I mean, I guess it's very similar to when Sean gives
That's
me
you.
his disapproving glare. Yeah.
Sorry, what happens when you get a disapproving glare?
Well, Steven,
He,
when a man
when a man
gets a
loves,
disapproving glare from another man, sometimes
His subway improvement project goes through the roof.
but it just got bigger this year.
We're talking about engineering. We're
talking about engineering. That's right.
Talking about engineering.
Yeah.
I loved it. Oh, God,
I hate
felt
this.
good about it.
And I hate that this was our original plan for the show, was just to do this too.
Yeah, this was
wasn't
like
one of your impromptu segments, Daniel. We planned
we
this,
planned this out.
and I hate it.
You had an opportunity to cut this out before it started, Dina, but you were too nice. We'd only just met, and you're like, "Yeah, Daniel, that sounds like a great idea."
To be fair, I didn't even think we would get past episode 1.
Yeah, that's fair. No, yeah, I'm with you. And now we have Stephen Howard on the show. How far we've come, baby!
Come a long way.
Or fallen. It's all perspective.
It's all perspective. All right, man. So we've got a proud tradition on this show. All right, and it's called the 1 second pitch. So here's how it works. you've got exactly 1 second to pitch Beyond Misty Mountain for us. You can lie, seduce, threaten, bribe the audience, whatever you want to do, as long as it's 1 second. And then we'll give you like a full opportunity to, give a full, complete pitch. But you ready for this? You prepared?
I'm ready for this.
All right.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to count you in. Here we go.
Myths retold badly.
Hey!
Oh.
That could work for multiple books. My story only. The rest of the books and heroes are great. I like it. That's a good. That's good. Yeah. Sorry, man. Give us the full pitch. Give us the full elevator pitch. Why people should check out your book, because people have been sleeping on Beyond Misty Mountain this entire time, and they need to know.
I totally agree. It's a comic fantasy adventure, very much in the mold of Terry Pratchett's Discworld, a little bit the zaniness of Douglas Adams. It's fast-paced, it's fun, it's light-hearted. It's a quick read, it's a fun read, and I've lost my way totally.
Yeah, listen,
with
just
one,
like
but
just like the characters, it's very on brand.
If you like myths and fairy tales mixed up as well, a whole bag in a fast-paced adventure, then I think it would be.
That's awesome, man. And so listen, Dina, do you mind if I go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Actually, Dina, can you go first and give everyone the thoughts on your on his book? Give us your final thoughts on his book.
You're the worst. So if you like humor and wit and actually laughing at the pages that you're reading instead of just like chuckling internally or whatever, then Misty Mountain is going to be the one for you. It's fantasy, but it's not like taking itself too seriously because it's so lighthearted and has such good humor.
And listen, Dina hit the nail on the head with this, because and listen, there's a time and place for it. I feel like because of the advent of like Game of Thrones and Joe Abercrombie's first Law series, like grimdark is super popular in fantasy now, and there's nothing wrong with it. I love it, but sometimes it's fun just to have that throwback and be able to enjoy a book, be able to laugh and be like, you know what? It's not that serious. We're going to have an adventure. We're going to have a good time. And that's what this book gives you, man. If you've read any of his stories, Stephen's an incredible author with incredible prose. Ashley Hutchinson, the editor of Lost Boys Press, has basically said, and this is an exact quote, that we just keep a spot in the shelf open for Stephen for whenever he submits. And, man, I can't recommend this book enough, guys. This is one of my absolute favorites, and I hope you guys check it out. Check out all of his stuff. Because it's awesome. So,
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate it.
All right. So,
thanks for reading it. You're probably the first two people that have read it in a while, because I don't really promote it.
Because you don't talk about it.
And I should do more. Yeah. It's like you say. I think I've been sleeping on it as well, and it's literally my book. So
it wasn't until the last live event when you're like, oh yeah, no, actually I've written a book. I'm like, what the hell, man? Because I remember asking you. I was like, listen. As soon as you write a book, like, we need you like for a full-time guest appearance. And
that comment from Daniel was after I had already put you on the list and told him, hey, back, in November, that Stephen needs to come on the show. And Daniel still didn't fucking remember.
I'm very irresponsible, Dina. We've established this. I'm incredibly irresponsible.
The worst.
It's true. But yeah.
It's also good that I've written something that Dina's not worried about reading with my
That's true.
strong leanings towards horror for a long time.
Yeah, she doesn't have to put this one in the freezer. So, so real quick before we get out here, kind of talk us through what are some of the projects that you're currently working on? What's some stuff coming down the pipeline that you've got going?
A little bit of a mix again. I am working on a kind of an epic fantasy short story that I've drafted. I got about 7,500 words on that, and I'm probably going to split it into like two projects and kind of like write a longer novella length and trim this down to a short story as well. So I'm working on something. I did want to try and start writing a little bit more fantasy and sci-fi again, because I have been quite horror focused for a while. But I'm also still writing some horror. So I'm looking at a few flash fiction anthologies. So I love writing flash fiction. So you can experiment with so many different techniques, and because you've got a very easy short arc. You just literally beginning, middle, end. in 1,000 words. So I feel like you can much more easily contain what you want to do and what you want to kind of experiment with that form. So I've got definitely targeting a few more of those. Obviously, like you mentioned before, I've got a story coming up in the Lost Boys Press Great Wars anthology. That's called The Death of Henry V. So that should and that was another little hint. It was a little more into fantasy again, with a bit of historical fiction thrown in. So that was great fun. So yeah, trying to mix it up a little bit more now. Stick still with genre fiction, but yeah, a nice mixture.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I can't wait for it. As soon as you have some more horror stuff to share with us, I'll definitely just make Dina read it for my own amusement.
I
So
was gonna say,
anytime you want to do this.
we're gonna need horror stuff.
I mean, some of my horror's it's not too dreadful. Like it's it's horror elements without being too scary. I actually wrote a story that I won a local competition recently, the Northwich Lit Fest, and it was kind of a horror story, but like the prompt was a dog has gone missing in the neighborhood. So I wrote about a young girl whose dog's gone missing, but her and her dad are also dealing with the death of her mother, and she finds the dog in the meadows, and it's kind of all the other missing dogs. Loads of dogs have gone missing in the area, and they've kind of formed like a clan and disappeared off together. So she realizes that losing someone's not, life will continue. That kind of
No
theme
kidding.
going on, and she realizes that that's where the dog's meant to be at that time. So
Freaking spoiler alerts, but that's amazing. I definitely want to check that out, man. Send that if you're willing, send that out to us. But hey,
definitely.
Thank you so much for being a part of this, Steven. I can't wait for you to write some more stuff so we can get you back on here, man. Oh God. So again, guys, you can check out Beyond Misty Mountain by Stephen Howard, available on Amazon. Condemned to Be, a collection of short stories, and check out Lost Boys Press. He's in every anthology. They're all amazing. Obviously, I'm a little bit, there it is. A little bit biased towards Hero because me and Dina are both in that story. They're in that anthology. So guys, check it all out. You won't regret it, man. Steven, tell the folks where they can find you, buddy.
Well, they can find me on Twitter at StJHoward. I'm on Instagram every now and then. It's StH917.
Awesome.
My website also is stephenhowardblog.wordpress.com.
Perfect. When can we get some magpie or war elephant shirts? I feel like you gotta listen. Talk to Dina. She does all the hard work. I write the coattails. Yeah.
Can I become a sponsor?
I'm in.
Stephen Howard, now a sponsor.
Stephen Howard, now a sponsor, Sean. This is a verbal agreement. We need about,
we have it on
what do you think, 10,000, Sean? Is that good? Just to float us?
10,000 war elephant t-shirts. Is that what you're saying?
I was going to send you 10,000 magpies.
Oh, God.
Because they congregate outside my house. I am sick of them. You guys
I will
can
train them to do all my chores for me.
Perfect. We've got the cord. Dina, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Dinosaurus D. That's D like these nuts. Hey, Shannon. Okay.
Oh, God. Sink Pickle be praised that we made it through another episode. Bless.
Bless.
And you can find me on Twitter at Dan Q Writes Thing. That's Dan Q Writes Thing singular.
It's donk.
It's not donk. What's the
Donk writes thing.
Jim
what's the
Donk.
French bear version? He has the bear.
The bear would say.
That's what the bear would say.
Grrr.
I love the French bear. That's another t-shirt right there, French bear. And Sean, where can the folks find you, buddy?
Well, seeing as I've already had 6 beers and it's only noon, I'll probably take a nap.
Oh my God.
That's perfect. What are you gonna have for lunch?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I might just have more beer. We'll have to wait this one out, see what happens.
Yeah, see how it goes. Yeah, I'm with you. All right, guys, thank you for checking out.
Don't have plant-based chicken. It's not good. I had a plant-based chicken today. It was really bad.
Thank you.
Not a chicken.
Not a chicken. Not a sponsor either.
Hashtag not.
All right.
So bad.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a terrible time. But all right, guys, thank you for checking out the Don't Make It Weird podcast. We'll see you all next time. Jazz hands. Dina can't do jazz hands.
Don't Make It Weird. Hosted by Daniel Quigley and Dinosaurus. Produced and edited by me, Sean Holden. Theme music by Amaria. You can find the video version of this show on our YouTube channel or the audio-only version wherever you download your podcasts. If you enjoyed the show, please like and subscribe. It's free to you and it helps us out a ton. Have a message for Dina or Daniel? Leave us a voicemail at 347-69-WEIRD and we'll listen to it on a future episode. Thanks for making it weird with us, and we'll see you next time.